Manchester United 0, Southampton 0. The red card clearly the biggest talking point, but we've managed to not lose in the end.
I mean, from the picture I've seen, it looks like it was a red card, but I think we all need to be worried. There's a referee missing, because that was Klopp without his wig on, wasn't it, surely? Because it was horrendous. He was card happy. You knew as soon as he went over to the screen, he was going to give a red card. There was a tackle in the first half down near the edge of the box. You know, we had a free kick for. They didn't even get a yellow card for it.
And he'd already given a yellow card, I think, to Martinez by that point, and didn't for them.
Clearly for Merseyside, clearly a scouse bastard, right? But I thought we were the better team, even down to 10 men. I thought we were the better team. I thought De Gea's distribution, though, costing us. There's a lot of time, especially near the end, where we're getting the ball and then we're just hoofing it up, and then they're just recycling it and they're coming back at us. I don't get why we didn't start playing shorter. I know we struggle from playing out from the back, but when you're just hoofing it up and it's coming back at you, just try. But I can't see. I don't want to be negative. Like I said to you a minute ago, we've lost 2 games out of 26. I think that's the second we've drawn. That means we've won 22. Here, like, we don't take L's at Old Trafford anymore. You can't even go in because you got an L in your name. Yeah? You're changing it.
It is like that, isn't it? Because look, it does feel a bit down. You know, you wanted to kind of completely bounce back from last week, get the W here, but we haven't lost. Casemiro, though, how big of a miss is that going to be? Because I think that's going to be him out for 4 games now. Yeah.
Well, if we got. I know he misses Fulham.
Yeah.
And then is it Brighton?
Newcastle away.
But they're
Forest, Everton at home.
I mean, what's going on with Sabitzer? Do you know what's going on?
He obviously must have picked up a knock. He wasn't in the squad against Betis. Hopefully he can be back in, because it's going to be back to McTominay and Fred.
I mean, I trust Ten Hag.
Absolutely.
And I trust he'll do something. Like I said, even with 10 men, we've not really got any massive games. Like I said, I think Newcastle away and Chelsea at home in the league are the other big games in the league. I think we could win the rest of them. But Fulham, like, if we beat Fulham on Sunday, we're in the semi-finals of the FA Cup. I think we're going to beat Betis on Thursday. So that's the quarter-finals of Europa League. We've won the League Cup. We're in the top 3. Like, the beginning of the season, I would have taken 5th. I would have taken 5th and no trophies.
Because that's how bad we were last season.
Last season, as long as we saw progression. So I still living in dream world right now, and I trust the manager. Casemiro, he went off crying as well. Like, he's not done it intentionally, has he? But I think he was doing a lot of defensive work himself. Like, I think you saw with the lineup with Sancho.
Do you think it worked with, because just on coming a bit, I think that's a good point to bring up, because we left Casemiro as a holding midfielder, and then you had Bruno in like a free role, picking up the ball in deep, sometimes up there, and Sancho up there. Was it maybe a bit too much for Casemiro to do in the end, or it was just a bad tackle and it happens?
I think maybe that's why he lunges in for it, because he thinks there isn't anybody else covering, because maybe if it is Fred or it is Sabitzer, he thinks maybe there's somebody else there, so maybe it leads to his actions. But I thought we looked good. I thought we looked good before the sending off, and I thought we still looked the better team after the sending off. Vetors, I know I'm probably not pronouncing his name right, but I think if we've got a more clinical number 9, we're up in that game. Like on Thursday, we could have been 3-0 up at half time. I think I'd take him in the summer if he's a backup.
Yeah.
He can't be our number 9 going into next season, but his celebration, like, you just feel for him. Because I think that's any of us if we score here. We're all shaking.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was the 4th goal. It's not like he scored the winner and he was going mentally.
Because he needed it, didn't he? He wanted it to
You could tell he loves the club. So, but I think you might be right. Maybe it was just a bit too much for Casemiro. All that responsibility. Garnacho, he walked off down the tunnel, didn't he? After he.
Yeah, I think he was injured. I think that was. It didn't look like he stormed off. I think he was probably sent off to.
I was thinking when you saw the stretcher come out.
It did look bad, didn't it? And he carried on for a little bit and done quite well. But I think, but the substitutions, I mean, how do you think we did, considering we went down to 10 men, how do you think we did with the substitutions finish off?
I thought I would have liked to see Plestri come on a bit earlier, just because Anthony, like, you know what he's going to do. There was a few times in the first half, because I'm not in the middle, I'm more off to the left-hand side. And you could see him, their fullbacks, he was staying inside. He wasn't worried about him going out wide. And I think even when we did make the substitutions, there was a couple of times we just didn't release the ball fast enough. Right near the end as well, De Gea, Rashford makes the run, and he runs and he cuts off the defender. But De Gea is just so slow and doesn't make the pass. He's just wasting another run. But we're playing 2 games a week for since we come back off the World Cup, and we're in middle of March now. Like, I understand that they're professional footballers, but they're playing at a professional level each week. This isn't like me and you going running around on a pitch for 90 minutes.
Sometimes the fatigue does, it does catch up when you've got 10 men.
Yeah, especially if it's mental. Like, well, because I said to the guy who sits next to me, I said, they're down to 10 men. They're going to be cautious. They're going to know that if they lose the ball, they're going to get overloaded. Yeah. I didn't mind them sitting off when they were in midfield. I thought when the ball came into our final third, though, we should have maybe pressed them a little bit. We let them run at us a couple too many times.
Listen, mate, always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. I'll see you
after
Fulham.
Fulham, nice one. See you later, little man.